Hello, dear friends. Welcome to Talibal's biology classes. It's me, Professor Rajdeep Singh Talibal, Assistant Professor and Head Postgraduate Department of Agriculture, Khalsa College, Patiala. And I have brought today an important lecture on ecology. Ecology, as you know, students, is a very important topic starting from 10 plus 2 to graduation to masters in life sciences. It has its own importance. So today we are going to discuss an introductory lecture to ecology. So starting with the definition. The first ever definition came for ecology is it is a biological science which deals with complex interactions among organisms and between organisms and their environment. That means it is a branch of biology which deals with the interactions which are being held between the organisms and also between organisms and the environment in which they live. So, after this basic information, basic definition, then came the French zoologist Isidore Geoffroy Saint Hilaire. In 1859, he proposed the term ethology. So, Mr. Geoffroy, he proposed the term ethology and defined it as the study of the relations of the organisms within the family and society in the aggregate and in the community. So he inculcated not only the organisms but also the relationship between organisms and group of organisms, as we call it, family and society and community in general. And then became English naturalist St. George Jackson Mivart in 1894. He gave the term hexecology and defined it as the science which is devoted to the study of the relations which exist between the organisms and their environment as regards the nature of the locality they frequent, the temperatures and the amounts of light which suit them, and their relations to other organisms as enemies, rivals, or accidental or involuntary benefactors. So, according to Maywart, in hexecology, he has included the interaction between the organisms and environment, and he has specified the physical features of the environment such as temperature, light, and also try to discuss in this definition the competition that organisms have to face during search for food, shelter, nutrition. So they become enemies, rivals, or sometimes they come across accidentally or through involuntary benefactors. So when we come to term ecology, if we see its origin, it was coined by combining two Greek words, oikos, that means house or dwelling place, and logos, meaning the study of. So it means ecology is the study of house, or we can simply say it is the study of dwelling place. So as we define, ecology is to denote such relationships between the organism and the environment. So the environment is actually our place. Each and every organism is actually living in a big environment. There are many factors in the environment, but the organism cannot survive without the environment. Thus, ecology is the study of organisms at home, and home is our environment. Then, Ernest Haeckel, in his definition of ecology, he refers to the surrounding outer world. He says the surrounding outer world, which we call now the environment of an organism, and organic and inorganic conditions. Now he has included organic and inorganic conditions with the environment. So inorganic is abiotic or biotic factors. And as he says, the biotic factors are the other organisms encountered, whether of the same or different species. So when we say, according to Haeckel, that environment of an organism and organic and inorganic conditions. So there he discusses biotic and abiotic factors. So biotic factors include all other organisms that a particular organism is dealing, whether they are of the same species or they are of the different species. But the both type, all the organisms are living together. And if we say abiotic factors, that denotes to the physical and chemical conditions such as temperature, moisture, respiratory gases, and the substrates on which the organisms are surviving. And when we see the definition given by A.G. Tansley in 1935, a very well-known ecologist, because he is also termed important, he coined the term ecosystem for a set of organisms interacting with each other and their surrounding physical and chemical factors extant in a given space. And he said he is a philosopher ecologist, and he was at Cambridge University, and he proposed that biotic and abiotic components of nature are not only related. We can say biotic and abiotic components of nature are not only interrelated but also function in an orderly manner as a definite system. That means he went further from Haeckel that biotic and abiotic factors, they are components of nature, they are interrelated and they function in a definite system, which he later coined the term ecosystem. That means we are the organisms, they are interacting with each other and their surrounding physical and chemical factors extant in the given space. And then comes a great ecologist E.P. Odum in 1969. He defined ecology as the study of structure and functions of ecosystem. He went further than Tansley, as Tansley gave the term ecosystem, and Odum, he is a great ecologist. We have read many books related to Odum regarding ecology. So he gave the definition, the study of structure and functions of ecosystem. And great Indian ecologist Mr. R. Mishra in 1967 defined ecology as interactions of form, function and factors. So these are basic definitions to introduce ecology. So now we discuss basic concepts in ecology in short form, and in our next lecture we will try to elaborate on these all topics in detail. So basic concepts include holism, ecosystem, succession and conservation. They were given by Mishra in 1991. So we will discuss in brief these all four basic concepts: holism, ecosystem, succession and conservation. So term holism was coined by South African naturalist Jan Christian Smuts. In his book Holism and Evolution 1926, he gave the idea to explain the process of evolution by the coming together of lesser wholes in order to create the universe. Now lesser wholes, this is a new idea. Holism, lesser wholes in order to create the universe. This process is conceived as a directive and creative principle operating from first to last in the ecology. And Smuts defined holism as tendency in nature to form wholes that are greater than the sum of parts through creative evolution. Now, when we discuss holism, then they are trying to discuss the hierarchy of the ecosystem accordingly and also include how the evolutionary processes are taking place. And William Ophuls in 1974, he considered holism as a real base of ecology. When we discuss ecosystem, so with the introduction of ecosystem concept in ecology, the functional aspects along with the structural ones were also strongly emphasized. Now when we discuss ecosystem, now we are discussing the functional aspects, how everything functions. So Tansley in 1935 thus emphasized the role of environment with its various factors interacting with each other in his comprehensive term ecosystem. This was a remarkable standpoint in the field of ecology that Tansley gave the term ecosystem, which revolutionized the ecological studies. So ecosystem which involves all the non-living and living factors working in a complex. So it is a complex in which everything is interacting and we are discussing the functional aspects. So when both biotic and abiotic components are considered, the basic structural and functional units of nature are ecosystems. So ecosystem was adopted as the unit of ecological studies. Very important point. So discrete biological units consist of populations and communities including biomes. Each population occupies a specific niche, a unique functional position with respect to other organisms with which it interacts. So if we decipher the idea behind this concept, that now the hierarchy is being discussed. Now there are populations, there are communities, biomes. So in each population, every population is occupying a niche. Niche is the actual address of a living one is habitat, and there is specific niche of that species in which in a particular habitat. If we discuss a big habitat, that a particular species will be found in a specific area in a habitat, that is called as the niche. So we also say it is a unique functional position with respect to other organisms. So when we discuss the nature of an organism, we are discussing it in relationship or with respect to other organisms which are also found in that habitat in larger aspect, and they are interacting with each other. And when we come to the term succession, the dynamic environment and organisms make way for the development of different kinds of organisms through a process known as succession. So how the evolutionary thing is going on. So succession is explaining everything. We will be dealing with this in detail in the next videos. The process continues till the development of a community. So how the process goes, till it is formed into a community which is now more or less stable and is now able to keep itself adjusted in equilibrium with the environment. So that means if there is a habitat, it is in equilibrium with the environment. That means it has taken a lot of time for that community to reach that space, that 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 locality, if it is forest, if it pond ecosystem, or any type of diverse ecosystem. If they are in a final stage, they are called as climax. So to reach climax, they have to go through various stages. So under natural conditions, different kind of population undergo succession. So population can be anywhere. So ecosystems undergo an orderly process. So we call it an orderly process which is followed in an order which change with time, passing from less complex to more complex state. And that more complex state is in equilibrium with the environment. So this process involves not only changes in species composition but also changes in physical environment of the community. Now this explains when there is change in environment, there is change in species composition, and in some sort of species composition it has effect on the environment also. So when it reaches a peak, the more complex state, the terminal or stabilized state, we call it climax. So this is the basic idea behind succession. And the last one is ecological conservation. So it is a necessity of life systems. It involves continuity of dynamic ecosystems, how they are going to continue for longer time, for sustainability of earth, for environment, regulation of population through naturally operating trophism, ensures the resilience or homeostasis of the system, how the things are going to create the balance. It brings about diversity and stability within the structural and functional fluxes, and species diversity increases the production efficiency of the system. This is very important, that when there is more species diversity, the production efficiency of the system is increased, whereas dominance makes the system stable through less efficient for production. So this explains why we need more diversity. Interspecific competition results into dominance by a limited number of species, and conservation occupies central importance in solution of environmental problems of global warming and climate change, atmospheric pollution, and the loss of biodiversity, which is very important topic when we discuss ecology, ecological factors, and in everyday life we are very much concerned about biodiversity. So dear friend, this was a small lecture on introduction to ecology. So please do subscribe my YouTube channel Talibal's Biology Classes for other updates, and don't forget to press the bell icon, and for any other information please stay connected with me. My email IDs are there. So thank you very much.